Lind Hall has always been just the old engineering home, but it was really compartmentalized and broken apart. And so we started talking about, well, what if we actually renovated? And it was exciting because at the same time we were thinking about the physical renovation, the change in the space. We were also thinking about how we might change how we do business.
Welcome to 207 Church Street, everyone. This is Lind Hall. It used to be main engineering building. It's 100 years old this year, and recently, due to generous donations, it underwent a renovation on the first floor. We're going to take a look inside and see what this place has to offer. So as you enter the main hallway, you can see the beautiful compass that was put on the floor here. We really wanted to keep a Minnesota feel to this space. If you keep stepping down the hallway, on your left and right are student spaces. This is CSE ambassadors and international ambassadors. And in here is the Science and Engineering Student Board and the Society of Women Engineers.
I'm Erin Lemke. I'm the Vice President of the Society of Women Engineers. Our old office was in the basement of this building and we didn't have cell phone reception. The internet was kind of sketchy, so this is a big deal for us. It's really nice to have more student groups in one area, and that's really going to help us collaborate, I think. It's also nice to have that brand new computer lab down the hallway. I mean, that's huge. You need computers for everything. And having more of our student services all in this building. There's so many connections you can make, so many resources to utilize.
When the architects and designers were thinking about this place, they really wanted to make every room and every space have a purpose. So even the corners of the walls, if you look up on your right and left, we asked the faculty in the College of Science and Engineering for their favorite equations and quotes and diagrams. Just stuff to inspire students on a daily basis. So we're coming up on the Office of Collegiate Life, actually the newly named Collegiate Life. And this office deals with anything from scholarships to study abroad to outreach and diversity and student groups.
When you come here, you have a blank resume, and our job is to sort of help you fill it in with those things. And at the same time, not just fill a resume, but figure out what you want. I mean, this experience is as much figuring out what you love as what you don't love. It really is important for us to give our young students an opportunity to lead. And so we have something like, I guess I learned last week, something like 50 student organizations. And so these student organizations are actually become our leaders in the college.
So right now we're in the Taylor Center. The Taylor Center is named after George Taylor. He was a 1934 graduate of the Mechanical Engineering Department. And it used to be the main engineering library, but in the 80s it was turned into a tutor center, and in the 90s it kind of fizzled out, and we never had over 10 people use this space per day. So with this renovation, we put in the most high-tech computers that any CSE lab has nowadays. There's also computer stations around the upper rim, and then in the middle there's stations where students can bring their own laptops and plug in. It just provides a lot of study space, a lot of workspace that students don't have around campus. So we're right outside the Taylor Center now, and if you see behind me, it's the new Starbucks. It's been a huge hit with students. We've had to actually expand its hours. We used to open up at 9 and close at 4, but now we open up at 7:30 and we close at 6. So it's a huge hit. Students come by at all hours of the day to get their caffeine fix. So right now we're in the Boston Scientific Student Lounge, which is right outside the Taylor Center, right next to the Starbucks, and right next to the CSE Collegiate Life. So this is pretty much the busiest area in the building on a normal day. There's students coming around here for coffee, for computer labs, for doing student group work and homework. It's a high energy area and it's a great atmosphere for the building. So if you notice the screens on your left and right, and actually behind you to your left and right, these were put in place of the old cork boards that used to line all the old dingy hallways that would eventually be covered up by apartment applications and things like that. So we really wanted to use digital signage to try and attract students and tell them about what's going on in the college. And so far it's been a huge success. Before we enter academic advising in the Career Center, I wanted to point out the donor wall that recognizes all the generous donors that made this beautiful renovation happen. This is really the space that is a huge overhaul of what used to be. Academic advisors used to be kind of in random spots of an old building that really wasn't built for flow and student communication. So this is actually the first time that we have a real front desk for students to check into. where they can have a seat and wait for their academic advisor to come and talk to them.
I was just like, wow, this is cool. I want to sit here and study.
I think it looks great.
It's really nice. I'm actually fairly impressed.
It should help our organization grow in numbers and quality, so we can put out better events, more events, bigger events that impact more people.
There's lots of people in here too, so it's a good social environment, a good study environment too, so I'm glad that they did that.